Okay. Hi. I think you guys can hear me. What's up? I'm pretty tired, so I don't know why I'm doing this, but hello and welcome to Dubai International Airport, or Dubai, if you want to pronounce it correctly. So for those of you who don't know, this is Flight Simulator 2020. It came out a couple of weeks ago, and I have not played this as much as I would have liked, and but it is a fantastic game. I'm sure it's all the craze. If any of you are into aviation at all, you've seen videos and live streams everywhere with this. But different from those, today I will be trying to fly this Airbus A320neo, which is a little bit easier to fly than the Dreamliner I tried last week, from Dubai to Riyadh, two airports that I'm very familiar with over an air route that I am also very familiar with. So I should have a really hard time getting lost. Anyways, how's everyone doing? And while you're telling me that, I'll get this shit show on the road and get this aircraft rolling. So let's click on ready to fly, and that will put us in the cockpit. I do have a throttle and a stick. I'm not using a controller or anything. So at the very least, we'll try to be a little professional here. So here we are. I don't know which terminal building I can't really see that far down. I don't know what terminal building this is. But we are at DBX, and it is very well modeled. You can see the downtown skyline over there, which we'll fly over. I did put in a flight plan, which we will look at in a little bit here. It should all be plugged into the flight director and the trip computer and everything. So yeah, what was I gonna say? All right, I really didn't have enough coffee today. Oh yeah, we're gonna be flying over the city on our departure, hopefully, and not crashing into it. Anyways, ZVYC says that he or she is in love with cocaine. Oh boy. Okay, perfect. All right. Answering some questions, we will not be trying the CS300 or A220, not because I don't want to. Those are planes that I'm somewhat familiar with flying in a simulator, but they're not in this game yet. But when they come out, I will do those. Anyways, the Airbus A320 is not dissimilar to those planes. Let's get this thing rolling by turning on the batteries, and we will get external power. Oh yeah, we have our co-pilot set to handling the comms, but we don't want to do that just yet. Okay. We're gonna take our time getting ready here. Okay, so we have power. Let's somewhat unrealistically ask them to connect the jet bridge here by using. We're just gonna wait for this. All right, ground services. Which frequency do we tune? Okay, I guess any of them would work. Let's get a jetway connection.
Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Okay, so we're not gonna bother with the rest. We've seen those before. Look at that jetway, it's coming in quite aggressively. Oh my, all right. Now while that is being set up, let's have a quick peek at our route today. Oh my god. So I am not a very good sim pilot. I'm not good at airliners whatsoever. I think that's a door warning. So we'll just turn that off. But I did put in a flight plan, which is quite easy. Let's go to the next page. No, there's no. How do I go to the next page? Oh, okay. So everything is plugged in. We have our rotate speeds, V1, everything is set, it knows what we're doing. I'm just gonna trust that this is set up correctly. It is a palava to do so now. I don't know, what is our cruising altitude? Flight level, how do I see that? Transit altitude 10,000 feet. So we'll just set the autopilot to 10,000 feet for now. And I think that's everything we need to do. We will set our barometric pressure to hectopascal. Which one is hectopascals? Okay, so they do mercury in the United States as they do things differently empirically. But for the rest of the world, everyone else uses SI units. And that's why we're setting that to that. Why am I saying idiot to yourself in my vid? I am quite dumb most of the time. I surprise myself with how stupid I am constantly, regularly. So that's just the truth. All right. Anyways, all right. So we have that set up. We don't need to touch anything else for now. Parking brake is set. Let's get the APU started so we can start our engines. So the plan is I'm going to take off. We're going to do a little bit of sightseeing over Dubai. By then, we can turn on the autopilot, and then I'll answer some questions as we cruise on over to Riyadh. So if you have questions, save them for a little bit, okay? And we're going to talk about flying in general as it is, because it is the end of the month. All right, so APU on. We can turn that off for now. Waiting for the APU to turn on. And if you don't know what the APU is, it's the auxiliary power unit. There's a little turbine jet engine in the back of the plane, and it turns jet fuel into electricity. Yeah. And we need that to turn the engines on, because the engines require electricity to turn on. Well, quite a high voltage of it. So, please try the landing AI. No. I will try an ILS approach, but I don't think it's set up properly for every airport, so we might just follow the glide slope. Alright. Let's turn on our engine screen here. We'll come back out while we wait for that. Look at this. This is pretty. It is almost 6 a.m. We're just waiting for our passengers to come on. And knowing the situation of this flight, I can bet you that half the passengers are drunk and the other half are hungover. Because the only reason Saudis go to Dubai is to, commit acts of sinful, adulterous things. And then you get what I mean. The most haram things are committed in Dubai. This is a dry airline, by the way, Saudi, so they can't drink on the way home. That's why they're drinking in the SkyTeam lounge and wherever else in the terminal. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so APU is on. We can turn off the external power. But first we need to turn on the APU generator. I think that's, oh yeah, this is an Airbus, so the switches are set to either auto or off. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna turn off the external power and hope for the best. The batteries are on, right? Yeah, the batteries are. Okay. And now that that has happened, let's ask for a pushback. Request fuel, quit. How do we ask for pushback?
Dubai ground, Saudia 59er, 1 with Alpha ready to taxi IFR. Saudia 59er, 1 taxi to and hold short of runway 12 left using taxiway Zulu Zulu 15 kilo 7 cross runway 12 right Mike 10 Bravo Mike 1 Alpha Mike 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember that.
Taxi to and hold short runway 12 left using taxiway Zulu Zulu 15 kilo 7 cross runway 12 right Mike 10 Bravo Mike 1 Alpha Mike 1 Saudia 59er 1.
All right, let's turn our beacon lights on. Where is that? Is that a strobe? Oh no, there it is. Okay, beacon lights on, and nav lights can go on too, and that just lets the ground crew know that this idiot is about to turn on the engines, so they should get to a very far safe distance. Alright, let's disconnect the jetway.
By ground Saudia 59er 1, could you please disconnect the jetway from
And
the
that's
aircraft?
usually not how that works, but we're just going to let them be. Let's have a look at our flight plan. Our departure has us going south out of whichever runway that is, I don't remember. Go to the plan mode. And we're just going to do a squiggly line out of Dubai over the Gulf and into the peninsula. Alright, let's go back to ARC. We'll turn our constraints on. Alright, I think we're ready to taxi. Everything looks good. Do we need to ask for clearance to push back? Yes, we do.
By ground Saudia 59er 1 requesting pushback.
Make sure the AC is on. Well, unfortunately, we can't control the air conditioning in this standard version of this plane. We can turn on the engine bleed air, which is how air is pushed into the cabin. That actually has something to do with the flight model, but you can't really do the comfort settings in terms of air conditioning, which is kind of sad. You can't even turn on the seatbelt signs, right? And the smoking signs. These are inoperable. That's kind of sad. Anyways, let's get a tug out here. Oh, already pushing back. I should probably turn off the parking brake then. Oh boy. Here we go. Okay. Now that we're pushing back, let's turn on engine number 2. So APU is on. We got power. Let's turn our engine pumps on. Give that a couple seconds. Switch our engine starter to ignition start. I think I did everything correctly, right? That's on, that's on, that's on. Okay, we got power. All right, let's try to turn number 2 on and see what happens. Let me know if I missed a step. Do I know that Donetsk airport is destroyed? I don't know what that is. I'm guessing something has happened. I'll look up the news later. I've been doing daytime work and editing today, so I've been out of the loop.
By ground Saudia 59er 1 requesting the end of pushback.
So did they just push us back? We haven't really turned, huh? You know what? It's okay. We'll turn ourselves. Okay, I did something wrong here, because the engine's not starting. Interesting. All right, the pumps are on. Pumps are on, right? Yes. What am I missing here? Our APU is on. We got power. Why is the engine not turning on? My nav lights are on, I think. Huh. Yeah, my fuel pumps are on. There's a generator fault, but that's because the engine's not running. Batteries are on. APU is on, so we have power. Let's set the settings. Parking brake real quick. Engine to ignition, and it's on. It's not spooling up. Oh, I didn't turn on the. Where are we drawing power from? The APU pumps are on. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I've made it very clear that I don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, the APU is on. This is interesting. The APU generator is on. The fuel pumps are on. Do we have any fuel on board? Yeah, that might be it. No, we got tons of fuel. None of it seems to be being pumped in. APU bleed. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that was. You're right. I thought off is off and no light is on, but I guess you're right. All right, thank you for that. This is confusing because off is not off and on is not on for every single one of these. I guess you do have to learn this. But thank you for that. All right, so that one is spooling up. Let's see what our in figures are. It's getting to 2. All right, we can taxi with that. We're gonna taxi with that. Oh, other passengers don't need any reassurance. Don't worry about that. I'll make an announcement later. Okay. I think everything is good. We can set our flaps and spoilers afterwards. Travel menus say that, but Saudi actually has one of the better systems in place for refunds. I have a flight from Athens to... Oh, God. Oh, God. All these crazy Arab drivers, they don't care. From Athens to Malaysia, and the flight was canceled, so they said that I can have the same seats on the same flights anytime I want in the next 1.5 years, which is so much better than a refund. Or you can get a refund, actually. So that's pretty good. Okay, so... Come on. We're going to follow the progressive taxi line. I know I'm cheating, but really this is a incredibly confusing set of instructions on how to get to that runway. We might have to cross an active runway too. Yeah, that can't be good for my tires. I'm using differential braking. Oh, we're drifting. Okay, that's fine. That's a little too much power. Oh God, we're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit that taxi sign, aren't we? Doesn't matter. Negligible damage. So, speaking of refunds, Air Canada said that they would give me all of my refund. My girlfriend and I, we have like 7 flights that we refunded. And they said it will take 6 to 8 weeks. It's been over 10 weeks and we've yet to see any amount of money in either gift cards, vouchers, or just credit card returns. So I'm getting a little annoyed. Let's turn the brightness on this up and that up as well. Okay, alright, and then now let's start engine number 2, just in case something goes awry again. Because I am the only person controlling this, I need to focus on taxiing. My taxi lights aren't on. I don't care about taxi lights. Oh, we should probably stop here. We don't turn lights on in the Arab world. We've got the sun for that. Dun, dun, dun. Should we ask for permission to cross the taxiway? Oh, God, no.
By ground, Saudia 5901 requesting pushback.
That's not what I wanted to press.
By ground, Saudia 5901, no pushback tuck is available to answer your request.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, well, there's no way to ask for permission to cross this runway, so we're just doing it. Oh, what do you want with my strobe lights? Taxi lights? I think my strobe lights are on. You know what? Fine. If you guys are going to be this pedantic about everything, I will turn my taxi lights on. Where the hell are they on this? And we'll turn our landing lights on too. And we'll turn our runway turn-off lights on too. We'll turn out... You know what? Let's just turn everything on. Oh, that's very fast. I wasn't paying attention. Dun, dun, dun. Please don't expect me to be, like, good at this when it comes to procedures. Alright? I'm not going to. We're just gonna put it up in the air and hopefully hope for the best. Dun, 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 dun. Alright. Okay, now that we're going over to the runway, let's configure ourselves for takeoff flaps. I think that's what the plan was. Should we arm our spoilers? I think you're supposed to do that too, yes. Dun 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 dun. Okay. So the reason we're in the A320 Neo is because A, it has a livery from Saudi that someone kindly made, and 2, it doesn't kill my frames when I'm in the cockpit. I'm getting a decent 30 FPS, whereas in the Dreamliner, in the 787-10, with the 2080, I was getting like 15 FPS while streaming it. So today we've scaled it back a little bit. Yeah. Alright, let's turn our flight director on. I think that's all we need to do. Alright. Should probably make a announcement. So, oh, okay, that doesn't work. Well, we're just gonna pretend we're making an announcement. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh god, that's terrible. Ahlan wa sahlan, ladies and gentlemen, to Saudi flight 591 from here in Dubai over to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I am your captain, Captain Boo. I am joined on the flight deck today by First Officer Saud bin Saud. Flight time today a little bit over 1 hour. Cruising altitude 15,000 feet, over 1 kilometer. We'll go very fast today, inshallah, because tailwinds. Inshallah, it would be smooth flight. Talk to you again once we have left Emirati airspace. There we go. Now this is a long taxi. It could have put us in a gate that's closer to this. But while we're doing this, we can enjoy the scenery and the clouds behind us and the fact that the sun is coming up. So that means we're a little behind schedule. But you know what? That's fine. No one's in a hurry. We're working on Saudi time or Arab time, which means if someone says they'll show up to dinner at 7 o'clock, inshallah, what they actually mean is 11. So you plan for that. I just remembered that I can probably turn the APU off now, huh? So these engine bleeds, they're on by default, right? Yeah, okay, good. Oh, no, I didn't have the generators on, fuck. Did I turn those on in time? I think I turned those on in time. Okay. Didn't know you had to do that yourself. Alright, everything is fine, right? I can turn off the APU generator. The engine generators are on. Engine bleeds are on. Let's put our window heat on auto. Wait, is it on auto by default? I hope it's on auto by default. You know what? If we face icing issues in Dubai at low altitude airways, we have bigger problems to deal with. Speaking Arabic probably doesn't get me demonetized. If they do, I will have a problem with why can't we just turn on here? Why is it telling me to go to the... There's no one coming. We're not... alright. We're using the runway run-up. I have a question. Do I have to trim my elevators for takeoff? If everything is balanced, it should auto-trim, right? We're just gonna go with that. Dun dun dun. Okay, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there is a lamppost in the middle of the taxiway. What the fuck? Okay, we're gonna go left here and just be a little conservative. Why is there a lamppost there? Oh, where did that plane come from? Oh, he probably just spawned on the runway. I do have multiplayer turned on. So we're gonna have a bunch of crazy, what I believe are Emirati flyboys just buzzing us all the time. If you want to join me and find me, just turn on multiplayer, set it to all, and then you can probably find me.
Tower Saudia 59er, 1 ready for IFR departure runway 12 left. Saudia 59er, 1 cleared for takeoff runway 12 left. Cleared for takeoff runway 12 left, Saudia 59er, 1.
What was that? Did another plane just spawn inside of us? I agree with what you mean about inshallah. I feel like a lot of the Arab world has eroded the meaning of that phrase. Did they give us permission to take off? Yeah, okay, they did. Alright. So, everything is set. Flaps are set. Our spoilers are armed. I think that's all we need to do, right? Okay, I'm going to bring us up to like 40% power. Make sure the engines aren't doing anything stupid, which I don't think they are. And then I'm going to bring it up to just below toga power, is I believe how this works. Oh, auto throttle kicked in. That's toga. One below it. MCT. What does that mean? Don't know. We're taking off. So this thing is chipper about getting into the air. I'm going to apply a little bit of downward pressure, and we've reached our rotate speed. Here we go. Okay. Alright, a little bit more aggressive with that. And we are climbing. We got positive rate. I'm going to bring the gear up. Did I just turn the lights off? Okay, auto throttle. Let's bring her back to climb. We can raise our flaps by 1 notch.
Saudia 59er, 1 contact departure on 126.2. Going to 126.2.
Alright, we're gonna fly this heading. Bring our flaps back a little bit more. That's a very aggressive angle.
1,100 feet, climbing 9,000 feet. Saudia 59er, 1 departure, continue as planned.
I think the auto throttle is fucking with me here. Okay, we're good. Oh, we're going a little fast now. Alright, let's bring our nose up a little bit. Yeah, okay. Well, it doesn't like to... Flight director doesn't like to tell me what to do, huh? Come on. Come. Oh, okay, now it's doing that. Okay, so it's playing with the throttle as I'm trying to catch up to the point. You know what? I'm going to turn the autopilot on. There we go. And while we do that, we can admire the landscape. Why are we turning left? Oh, it's trying to get us back on course. Alright. we go. Oh, there's a little bit of cloud cover today. Yeah, you're right, Riskus. I don't know what the different notches for the throttle are. Probably should have figured that out, but you know what? This is fun. Alright, so our departure should take us over downtown Dubai and then all the way down to Abu Dhabi, after which we turn out into the Persian/Arab Gulf. What will be my cruising altitude? Whatever it sets it to be. I think our transition is 10,000. We can request to go a little higher or lower from 15,000. I want us to stay a little bit lower so we can look at things as we pass by, namely Qatar, Bahrain, Khobar, Dammam, and the desert. My flaps are good, guys. I brought them back. Oh, we should probably set that to normal. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we're going to 200. That is pretty. It looks good from up here. Let's see how the scenery fares once there are buildings and landmarks that are recognizable. Helene Marie says that she knows nothing about planes. What is she doing here? Well, that describes half of us, including myself. I don't understand what is going on, but it seems to be working. We're also going quite fast. Is the auto throw? Okay, so I need to put... Okay, we're not climbing, are we? We are climbing. Why does it do that? Okay, alright, you gotta go back to climb. Alright, we're good. Do I have to click it? I do have to click it. Dun, dun, dun. The thing with flight simulators is that you don't have to follow the mundane tasks of being a commercial pilot. You can do whatever you want, and it makes it accessible for people like me who have a smidge of knowledge as to what needs to be done, just enough to get the plane into the air, not necessarily to land it back on the ground. So, flying over the world right now, not the most successful real estate development in Dubai. Came about just before 2008. The idea was that I think it was a pair of British developers who had this idea of making a set of islands off the coast of the Emirates, depicting the world and naming the individual islands after countries and selling the plots of land. There are a couple hotels. There were supposed to be restaurants. 10 years later, it's mostly still empty, being eroded by the waves. It was kind of a waste of money. Over there are the Palms, first one of which is now occupied and is relatively successful. There is an Atlantis at the end there, the water park. Second one, not so successful. So, M16 Joe, flying Delta First Class, are you doing so domestically? Because Delta First Class, I'm guessing you mean domestic First Class, because that is a whole different ball game from their international business class offerings. Alright, so we can bring her up down to cruise. There we go. Because if you are flying domestically, I think there is still a meal service from what I've seen. It's the case for all the American carriers right now. They give you food. I think everything comes in one tray. 260. And then once they give you that tray of food, you don't really get any other service. I think you get individualized bottles of drinks and alcohol and maybe some snacks, but it's a reduced level of service. I'm sure you can find it on their website though. How likely would I recommend Flight Sim for a scale of 1 to 10? 10. This is I mean, I grew up with Flight Sim 2000 and 2004, so my god, this is beautiful. If anything, this is a better version of Google Earth. It lets you go to your town and fly over it. It's for us av geeks, for us who are into travel, into flying and the whole business, this is just a beautiful feast of visuals for your eyes. You don't have to play this game for the Flight Sim. You can easily play it with a controller or a mouse and keyboard. Get into a Cessna Citation or turboprop general aviation aircraft and just have a look around it because it is gorgeous. Right, so our flight path is going to bring us back over here along the coast. We're going to turn on our radar and see if there are any clouds up ahead. And there's a couple sprinklings, not too bad. I don't think we're going to need to do anything. We're gonna lower our altitude. We're gonna ask them to decrease our altitude. We're 26,000 by 10,000 feet. Let's get lower.
Emirates Center, Saudia 5901. Request 16,000 feet. Saudia 5901 descend and maintain.
Karki 68 space Roblox. Thank you. Although I don't know if you can watch YouTube videos on BA's connection. That you are limited to, I think, like 215 or 500 megabytes. Did they give us permission to descend? Descend and maintain 16,000. Alright. We can go down to 16,000. Beautiful. Is this Abu Dhabi? I don't remember. Oh god, is that what that's that plane is quite close to us. Can't see what it is. Jack Logue, you have a gambling addiction. Go to a country that does not allow gambling. Stay there for 10 years. You'll be fine. Okay. Alright. I'm just having a look at our flight plan here. Because I can't see a whole lot of it on here. But I do feel like we are going to fly over Abu Dhabi, which is just over there. If anything, we can disengage the autopilot and swing by for a look. What do you guys think? For those of you who have an experience with the two, Abu Dhabi or Dubai, I'll let you know what I think afterwards. What's up, Mr. Panda? Helene, you've been to the water park in Atlantis. Which one? The one in Dubai or the one in the Bahamas? I'm going to lower the game volume a little bit so you guys can hear me better. There we go. Actually, I want to lower the game volume for myself as well. Give me a second. Here we go. Sihan Tong said I used to live. I feel like Abu Dhabi is a more livable place. It's a little quieter, less flamboyant, less bombastic. People are less aggressive about flaunting their wealth. It's also very clean, well managed, and you still have all the amenities and fun things that Dubai has, just at a smaller scale or less flashy scale. But Dubai is fun to visit. I don't know how fun it is for normal people to live there, like normal people with a normal amount of wealth. So there seems to be a rivalry here between Dubai and Abu Dhabi. But I guess if you're in the Arab world and you're from the Emirates, you are quite lucky. You have a lot more freedoms than people elsewhere. I don't know. I feel like that's how it is. Growing up in Saudi Arabia, a little bit of envy towards the Emiratis and the things that you could do there. At least for a kid growing up. You think Ferrari World is a boon for Abu Dhabi? Huh. Interesting. Alright. What heading is this? Heading 24. Alright. What I'm going to do real quick is put us on a heading to the right here. And we're going to bring us over a little bit. ATC is going to yell at us. But I do want to have a look at the city first before we fly off. Dun 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 dun. Favorite drug? Coffee. Is our rudder trimmed properly? Yes. Okay, perfect. Is that the right squawk? I don't know. I think so. Alright, let's bring up the progress. 254. Yeah, we'll make time. We'll make time back. It's fun. It's fine. Sorry. We don't care. Your favorite drug is meth. Yeah, dude, you're 100 years too late. If this was Nazi Germany, it'd be all the rage. But meth these days just gets you fucked without any upsides. Not that I'm condoning any drugs, but as someone who has a little bit of a foot in medicine, there are some drugs that make you feel better. Depending on how serious your situation is. And in the last 100 years, I feel like some of those have been found to have a positive effect. Others, a little overhyped. Alright, we're going to stop talking about... Yeah, coffee is a drug. Obviously, anything that changes your mental, physical, physiological status is technically a drug. Not an illicit drug, although that's up to you to decide. Okay. Alright, let's see what we can find. We can see the port. I don't actually remember where Yas Marina is. It's been a while. That seems pretty detailed. I have a yoke and a throttle. Sorry, I have a stick and a throttle. A yoke is too cumbersome. Okay. They did Abu Dhabi pretty well. At least from 16,000 feet, we can see it quite well. We're going to go back to our course and make a aggressive bank to the right. We're going to follow the coast. And next stop, we're going to fly over Doha. At least the flight plan should have us flying over Doha. We'll have a look at it. Alright, I'm going to scroll up and answer a couple questions that you guys had. Oh, someone mentioned that I should turn our lights off. Okay, beacon off. Which ones do I turn off? Wing lights are... Go. Come on. There we go. Nav and logo. Those light... okay, I guess that's off. Landing lights off. The gears retracted. Runway turn off. Lights can go off. Strobes to auto. Beacon on. Wing light. Nav and logo on. Wait, no. Nav can go off, right? Or nav stays on. Huh. You know what? I don't know what's going on. We're just going to leave it at that. Is math related to science? No, they're two different things. Math is a whole different sphere of memes and arguments. Don't fly over Doha. They'll shoot us down. With what? With what? Stingers? I mean, if we go over there, over to Iran, okay, yeah, maybe they'll shoot us down. I don't think we're going to have too much of an issue flying over Qatar. Hello from Ghana, West Africa. What's up, Goodwin? Looks like I've improved since the ERJ stream. Well, the ERJ was that... Oh, okay. Hello. Who is this? I don't think I can turn on the multiplayer name tags without exiting. But hi, I think we've got an escort. And from the looks of it, it's like an Emirati private jet. Stojan or Stohan, I'm sorry, but Saudia is a dry airline, meaning that they don't serve alcohol on board. Where's my VFR map? Why doesn't it show up? Is it off my screen? Oh, it might be off my screen. Didn't really think that through. Oh well. Okay, let's cycle through a couple of these views while we wait for a couple more questions to come. Oh, the camera menu is off my screen too. Come on. Yeah. Nope. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. What are my PC specs? I am running an i7 4770K from back in the day. 64 gigs of RAM for no other reason than video editing. Recently got my hands on a 2080 Ti that I stole from work, but don't tell any of them. I have two of them actually. So yeah, that's what I have. I am going to update my motherboard and CPU soon though. But the problem is I want 128 gigs of RAM, and that's going to be very expensive. Why does it do that? Why does the FPS counter do that? Whatever. Let's play with the drone, which is just a which is just an external view. Let's do that. Am I bottlenecking on the CPU? No, this game is pretty well optimized in all regards apart from some of the cockpits. So if you're flying the 747 or FS2010, you won't really get over 30 FPS on high to ultra settings with any card. The CPU performance is like actually only at 80%, so it's not too bad. I don't think the game can use any more than 4 cores, 8 threads, so it doesn't make any sense to get any more. The CPU is not a bottleneck for this. Dun, 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 dun. RTX 3090. Well, when it comes out, we'll see what happens. Ishtak, I know that Emirates and Saudi don't fly over Qatar, but this is a flight simulator, so we can do it without being shot down, hopefully. Greg Mitchell, yes, I did. Updating my drivers bought me 10 FPS, so thank you for that. That's also the reason why we're in the A320. This thing is much better. Oh, how do I get to that? This thing renders much better on the inside of the cockpit than the other planes. I'm getting 30 FPS here. If I have the stream off at like 4K-ish wide angle resolution. Oh, hello. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Where the hell did he come from? Oh. Oh. I didn't know there were pilot models in this. Interesting. Oh my god. That's freaking terrifying. What was I saying before I found the pilots? Yeah, the i7's not really an issue. The issue is with the graphics cards. Lubs Isako is behind us. Well, the camera's on the right side now, so if you want to transition to my left side, we can maybe see you in the background. And right now, guys, with the... I don't know what I was saying. Oh, with this game, with the planes that are available, there aren't any A330s that you can fly. The only planes right now are this, the A320neo, the Cessna Citation, which is a smaller private jet, and Citation Longitude, which is slightly longer private jet, 747-8, and the Dreamliner 787-10. There will be many, many planes that come out in the coming years from third-party developers, but right now this is the only flyable one that we can play with, unless we want to, fly in a Cessna 152 or 172 or something like that. I have a GPU issue with I only have one 2080 Ti plugged in right now. My case will not take a second 2080 Ti. Plus, I don't think it SLIs very well. But it runs really well at 30 FPS. My CPU doesn't clock up to 100%. It's 80. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. There's Lubs next to us. Welcome. Hello. I'm just gonna do this. There we go. Should probably go inside and check our progress, huh? The cockpit pilot. Oh, where did the pilots go? Weird. I think it's when I go from a showcase camera angle to a normal camera angle in the cockpit, it does that. That is really weird. So EMI, all right. Okay, so this might look really weird for a second, but I'm going to risk it and bring this window out to see if I can find my map. Nope, my map is nowhere to be found. Huh. Okay, let's bring this back here, and there we go. Oh, all right. How is my data project going on? It's still in a whole sea of bureaucracy. But we'll see what happens. I can't really talk a lot about work. A lot of the things that I might say might get me into trouble. So, yeah. I like the Dreamliner Dash 10 more than the Dash 9. I like really long planes. I feel like it's a prettier design because the Dash 9 looked a little stubby. But here we are talking about $100 million aircraft that none of us will probably ever own, and judging their designs. So I don't know. I don't know if we can talk about that. You don't know if life ate edible or not anymore? Okay, cool. Recommend any African airlines? Ethiopian? That's the only one I've flown. Sihan, you are crazy. I don't think anyone likes the Dash 8 Dreamliner. That thing is stubby. Risk as you say that, the A340-600 was my favorite plane as a child. Not for the fact that it's a really long plane. I have a model of it behind me. I might pick it up later. But because it has a set of stairs that go below at the back of the plane to 6 bathrooms. And that, to me, just blew my mind that there was another deck below the main deck. Yeah, Greg, I would agree that you say it well, that the Dash 10 is pretty. So answer this for me, guys, because I don't remember, and I don't even remember if I learned this in the first place, but the A340 has a bunch of either CFM or Pratt & Whitney engines, the ones similar to the next-gen 737s and the A320 CEOs, right? They just had a bunch of, like, narrow-body engines on it. Is that what it was? Sihan, I believe the Dash 8 and Dash 9 have a similar range, just from more fuel tanks. What makes me think that Skytrax gives Lufthansa 5 stars? Well, Lufthansa is a very powerful airline. You have to remember that it owns Swiss, Brussels, and it has heavy influence on over a dozen European airlines. So Skytrax is perhaps a little bit more easily persuaded to Lufthansa saying that providing the services they do. And it's not incorrect. At the top tier, if you're a Han Circle member, if you fly first class with Lufthansa, you get treated spectacularly well. Just not for the average people like us who sometimes fly business, most of the time fly economy. Which version did I buy? I didn't buy this game. I got a free copy from a friend who works at Microsoft. Full disclosure, this is the Premium Deluxe top tier version with the Dreamliner. You like the G550? Yeah, I'd like to have a G550 too. I don't know. I've never been on one. I've been on a Global 6500, and that was a mock-up. But yeah, if you have a G550 and you like it and you buy one, sure, I'll just bring me along. Look at my hair. I don't care about my hair. I need a haircut so I don't have to like worry about it. Can I do a future live stream with Alvin from One More Week to Go? Michael McIntosh, why don't you pester him for that? Because I messaged him yesterday and he just ignored me. So, what are you doing, Alvin? What did I do to you? No, I think he's kind of busy, but we are thinking about it. We've been playing this game. He's been playing more of it than I have, so he probably knows what he's doing. We'll have to see what we can do because shared cockpit is currently not a thing, and I have no idea where we're going. We're about to fly over something. Okay, let's see if we can find any airports that are recognizable so we know what's going on. Waypoints? Do we have to zoom in more for this? No? Why doesn't it show up? What am I doing wrong? Because usually there is a VOR map that comes up, but from the way I have my screen set up, it's off my screen. So I don't know where I am. Well, we're between the Emirates and the Qatari Peninsula. So soon we'll be there. MXC. Where is that? That's quite far away. What's after that? Resell, Lotot, Debat. Are any of those things ringing a bell for a Qatari waypoint? We'll just have to see. We'll fly over it soon enough. Actually, there's some land masses coming up ahead. So that's probably us. The A340 engines run 34 kilopounds of thrust each. Oh, the 200s versus the 600s? Really? Huh. That's cool. Is there a replay mode? I didn't know there was a replay mode. Did I fly Qatar Airways Q Suite? No, I have not flown Q Suites. Flown Qatar business, but not Q Suites. Looking forward to that. They're supposed to start flying that product to Toronto starting next year. The A350 that comes here right now doesn't have the Q Suites. So maybe. But there's no reason for me to go to Qatar. I'm not transiting between there anywhere. If the embargo wasn't happening, then I'd happily take a Qatar flight to go back to Saudi, but that's not kind of possible anymore. Throw them. Have I flown any Asian airlines? Yeah, many of them. Oh, there's a replay add-on. Who's the mayor of Toronto? I believe his name is John Tory. Although that I might be confusing him for someone else. Look it up. I don't know. Did I notice I'm going 320 knots in an A320? Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. You know what? It's letting us go that speed, so why don't we just go that speed?
Saudia 59er, 1 contact Marine Center on 126.7.
Sad that the crack-smoking mayor died. Well, his brother is our premier, so our governor, technically, of our province. And I've had a change of heart about him, as have many Ontarians in the past couple months. He did a pretty good job of taking care of us through the whole coronavirus situation. Have I been to Norway? I've been to Oslo twice, but never really ventured outside of the city. How many stars would you give Lufthansa if you were Skytrax? That's a difficult question. They treat passengers... The service is good. It's not great. But it's very well thought out. Everything that they do is very methodically choreographed. If you get into if you have an issue, you have a bad connection, they have many services that get you back on track. So from a logistics perspective, Lufthansa, I think, is one of the best airlines. They sort you out well, and they make sure that the bare minimum of getting you to where you want to go relatively on time is achieved, is accomplished. So in that regard, I give Lufthansa 5 stars. In service, I give it 4. So really, it should be like a 4.5 star airline. When am I flying again, airplane driver? Beginning of next month in September. I think I have to go to Montreal for a day. But later in September, around mid-September, I'm going to the UK. So we're going to do that. Right now, I have myself booked on 3 different flights, 2 of which I will return. So one option is to fly through the US, and that is to take a United 787-10 Dreamliner over to Frankfurt, and then Copenhagen, and then the UK. The other option is to fly through Zurich with Swiss to the UK, and the third option is to fly an Air Canada A330 from Montreal to the UK. I don't really like the last option, but it seems the least hasslesome. I choose Turkish over Lufthansa. If I'm flying business class, Turkish is much better in terms of service, but if you get lost, you're kind of screwed with Turkish, or if you miss a connection. Can I do a flight from Detroit to Paris? What on earth am I going to do for 9 hours? Will I ever fly on Flair Airlines? I don't know. I would need a really good reason to fly Flair Air, because it does not seem comfortable. Where are we? This is vaguely familiar. I feel like we're at the tip of Qatar. Or if we're not, we're, you know what? I can look this up on the map. We're at Al-Batha, the most northwestern tip of the Emirates. So if we go straight north here, we should see Doha. So let's go straight north, guys. Let's go down to 8,000 feet and see if air traffic control has a problem with us. Also be on the lookout for missile trails. They are coming. And then let's bring us down a little bit slower. Beautiful. Good for fuel. Burn through about a third, quarter of our fuel. Yeah, we're good for fuel. Wyatt Major, your sister is a lesbian. Well, congratulations on finding out. PW, cheers from a furloughed Air Canada pilot. Well, I hope that comes to an end soon. They are reintroducing a lot of flights. Which airplane types or type do you fly, PW? Can I do a flight from LA to Dubai? Get me an SR-71 and I'll do it. Am I worried about traveling with things such as lockdowns and secondary waves? So, knock on wood, I have not caught coronavirus yet. But I do a good job of washing my hands and just pretty much acting like I'm in a hospital so I don't touch my face. I'm not too concerned about catching coronavirus. Well, I am. It will be a nuisance. I don't really want to do it, so I'm not really traveling for anything outside of just needing to go for work and going for the least amount of time as possible. And yeah, I'll see a couple of friends. Probably won't hug them. Probably just will keep a meter stick with me and make sure that there's a meter between me and them. But no, not really. I'm not worried about the lockdowns either. I do have to self-isolate once I go to the UK, and same thing for when I come home. But I'll be alright. I'll be manageable. I'm on manage or selected. I'm on selected speed now, so we should be coming down to 260 knots. We should also be going down to. Oh, I didn't set the altitude. Should be descending now. Here we go. Alright, now that we've seen the coast, let's follow the coast a little bit further up. And that should get us to a heading where we can see Doha and the airport. Oh my. Buddy, you are getting close. We're not making very good time because we're taking these detours, but I do want to see Doha before we get back on track. And since we're up here, we can swing by Dammam, Khobar, Jubail as well. I do want to see if they put any of the oil refinery plants from Jubail into the game. Probably not, though I am curious to see what the automated... Yeah, we are. Let's just... Nope. Oh, he's gonna... The autopilot... You know, let's just turn that off. Okay. Alright, we're not gonna talk to ATC anymore. We're gonna do our own thing over here. I want to see what Jubail looks like. For those of you who don't know, Jubail is a small city on the eastern coast of Saudi Arabia. It is pretty much just a oil processing plant. You've got massive chimneys with the red desert in the background. It looks like Mars. It looks like what Mars would look like in a sci-fi film. It is beautiful, and let's see what happens. Do I know how to fly a Boeing 737? Yeah, you turn MCAS off. Do I know how to fly an Airbus A380? Yeah, it's kind of like how you fly this thing. You just hope for the best, put it in the air, and turn on autopilot, and hope for the best again. Oh, this is a different jet that's following me? Beautiful. We've got an escort from Qatar, but it doesn't look like it's armed, so we'll be alright. How is ATC still talking to us, even though our radio is off? Or, I think it's off. You know what, whatever. Fly from Singapore to Newark. Oh, God. Yeah, if I can go through the earth, it'll be 40 minutes to tunnel through the earth. To go through a tunnel in the earth. I'll do that. Not in an airplane. I was booked on the Singapore flight from Newark to Singapore, but that's not happening. So we'll do that later. Oh, PW, you are an A320 captain, pilot, first officer, captain, I don't know. Whatever you are, this is probably very cringeworthy for you, but you know what? A320 is a very easy plane to fly. Just press a couple buttons and it does the rest for you. So that's why. Oh boy. That's why we're doing this. Where are you based, PW? Papa Whiskey, I'm guessing, is what you want to be referred to. Oh, Ishtak, you work for Saudi Aramco? Whereabouts are you, Dahran? Oh, okay, he just said Dahran. Okay, well he's still talking to me. I don't know how to turn that off if that's not how you turn it off. Wave my wings at you. I can do one better. I can introduce turbulence so that I myself don't have to wave my wings. Instead, we'll get the air to do it. At 8,000 feet, let's add a wind layer. At 8,000 feet. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, that's rough. 42 knot winds. Let's do 42 knot crosswinds. Oh, look at that. We might actually die, so. I might overstress the aircraft actually if we do it that fast and at that frequency. All right, we got a tailwind now. Oh no, we got a headwind now. Now we got a tailwind. All right, there we go. Yeah, so this game is beautiful. For those of you asking questions about the weather system, you can play Zeus, so we can introduce some clouds. Oh, we've also set the time back. Ooh, hahaha. Here we go. Look at that. That is pretty. And, oh yeah, we're over Doha now. There's the old Doha airport, I think. Nope. No, is that it? Where is it? Where are we? I'm confused. No, this is not Doha. This is the suburbs. There's only one major city in Qatar, so... Where are we? Mesaid. Okay, Doha is up north. We'll just follow the highway. Do I carbon offset my flights? That's a good question. With Air Canada, sometimes I do. With miles, if I'm booking with miles. Sometimes. Like maybe once every 4 or 5 times I buy a ticket, I'm feeling altruistic. But... really, I think it's up to the airline to do something about it. And air travel is one of those industries that you can't really go electric right now because you need the raw power of the jet turbine engine. It's like, from a hyperbolic analogy, it's saying you should offset your carbon footprint with like a rocket engine. There's really no replacement for a rocket engine. It's very similar to what it is for a jet engine. And with that said, there are airlines, turboprop airlines, propeller planes, seaplanes even, so Harbour Air in Vancouver, who have introduced electric engines to their planes. And some of them, for some of the flights, it makes sense, they're short haul ones. But for commercial airliners, Airbuses and Boeings, it's, yeah, you can offset your carbon, but it's still going to make the carbon. You don't know where the money is going, how they're offsetting it. So, I don't know. It's a controversial topic. It's one that many people don't have answers to. But sometimes I do it. Not all the time. I don't think many people do it at all. Let's go back to a few clouds so we can see what's going on. And let's get rid of this layer of wind. We're good. And there's the airport. There's Doha International Airport. The old one is on the left. That runway still seems active. I don't know what they did with that. The new one is on the right. And I remember when I was little, because there was this Chinese construction company that helped build it, there was a big consortium or a big exhibition of the airport project. in Riyadh at the embassy, the Chinese embassy. So I went to that, and that was kind of cool. Let's go back inside. And once we're over the city, we'll put our back on course management system in place. And then we'll go back to our assigned altitude, and we'll go back to our assigned flight route. Hydrogen engines are interesting, yeah, but like if you put hydrogen fuel on board, i.e. water, think about how much weight you're going to need for the same amount of reactive power. I don't know how that works. And Papa Whiskey, going back to what you're saying about the A350, I've heard about that too. And that would have been interesting. And that would have also meant that the A330 captains and A320 captains like you would probably be type certified on that. And that would have been cool. And I feel like Air Canada is one of the few airlines in the world that would benefit from an A350, from its fuel efficiency and just the general lack of high volume routes apart from the couple cross Atlantic and transcontinental ones. Like the A350 would open a lot of doors into Asia from Vancouver and even Toronto. Giving some passengers injuries? Yeah. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's Saudi. The seatbelt sign stays on even when there's a gale. So I think people should be all right. Okay. So if I just turn our heading to the left super hard, that should take us over the city. That's like a westerly direction. Let's see what happens. I was fine at 275 in turbulence penetration speed. Okay, if you say so. There's downtown Doha. Look at the skyline. It's not going to look like that in a couple years. They're still building like crazy. Doha airport is pretty big. Yeah, but for the longest time, they didn't have jet bridges. And in the summer, having to like climb off a set of stairs from a plane, sit in a barely air conditioned bus for half an hour, go to the terminal, get on another bus, climb another set of stairs to get on the plane. In most cases, that plane was an A330 and it wasn't air conditioned. That wasn't great. So that was the part that sucked about going through Doha airport. Nowadays, they have jet bridges. Am I going to land in Hamad? No, we're going to go back over to the peninsula. We're going to swing by Dahran, Dammam, Khobar, Jubail, which is on the eastern coast of Saudi, and then we'll head inland based on our flight path. Tinosaur, you hate flying, you're scared. Any tips? If you have a fear of flying, just get completely wasted. Drink as much as they'll physically allow you to before they kick you off the airplane. Easy. Done much flying in a small turboprop? Yeah, I was flying I don't remember what it was called, but I was doing that. Oh, you mean in real life? Not really, no, I don't get the point of turboprops. Apart from Dash 8s, sometimes you have to take those. Alright, let's swing the view around. I wouldn't want to go any lower than this because things will start looking ugly and then we'll start picking out buildings that don't make any sense. Which I will also point out once we get to Riyadh because I've been doing a little bit of flying around. Oh, the mall looks good. Stadium looks good. Hey, that's actually pretty well. Oh, I don't think it's 3D though. Hey, it looks good from up here, so we'll just not zoom in any more than that. Alright, see you later, Lubs. They cut the salary for Ramco. Okay, just make sure to arm the approach and hit the secondary AP, the arm, the Cat 3 auto land. Papa Whiskey, the ILS approach things and localizers don't work for Riyadh. So apart from the glide slope, I think I'm going to do it by hand. It'll be more fun to see me crash by hand too anyways. Do a trip report on the Electric Harbor Air flight. It would probably get a little bit of attention at all. I don't know how fun it would be. If I wanted to get a lot of attention, I'd go fly Emirates first class, but it's kind of cliche. What citizenship do I have? I'm Canadian. I have a Canadian passport. Off topic, but what are my options on furries? Nothing is off topic. I had a fan introduce himself onto the Discord server my friends and I play on as a furry and started posting furry propaganda, I guess you can call it. It's quite an experience. I don't see what's wrong with furries, but I bet they carry a lot of diseases. They don't wash those suits frequently. I don't think they are expensive too. What are the chances of a crash? Very likely. Oh, you mean in real life? Very unlikely. I think per unit distance traveled, air travel is the safest mode of transport. So just imagine flying from New York to LA. It's going to be infinitely safer than driving from New York to LA. But I completely understand the sensation that you're suspended in the metal pressurized tube some miles above the ground. It can be kind of daunting, but I guess once you fly often enough, and if you start from a young age, you really don't mind it. Turbulence is nice. I'd say for the most part, on an evening flight, a red-eye flight, I welcome the turbulence. It shakes you to sleep. Too much turbulence can be annoying, not because it's scary or anything. It's actually kind of fun after a while if you can get over the fear. But it does mean that you spill everything everywhere, and you also can't get up to go to the bathroom. Riska says that the most dangerous part of a flight is to drive to the airport. Yeah, so don't drive to the airport. Take a plane to the airport. That's how you solve that problem. How much is Emirates from Vancouver to Dubai in first class? I don't think Emirates flies to Vancouver. But from Toronto to Dubai in first class on the A380, I believe round trip is around 15,000 USD if you can find a good deal during a good time. Can I try landing in the US Army base? You mean the airport in the middle of the city? Maybe later. Might take off from there later. It's actually a joint Air Force base between the Saudis, the US Air Force, RAF, the British RAF, the UK RAF, I mean. And sometimes they have guests come in, Germans, French. It's kind of mixed use. M1stir_X. You can go on GitHub and download these bootlegged liveries. If you don't zoom in too far, they look pretty good. But if you do zoom in far enough, they start to show their bootlegness. Look at that. That's not straight. Hey, but from this perspective, it looks pretty good. You had an Air China flight from Urumqi to Beijing, and people were screaming because of the turbulence. So Mustafa, that's a common thing in China because a lot of Chinese airspace is controlled by the Air Force. It does limit the domestic corridors quite significantly. And sorry, I just got a text from work. And because of that, and from the altitude restrictions, most planes fly just above the clouds, between 10 and 25,000 feet, on domestic Chinese routes. So it is significantly windier there. You fly through a lot more weather than you would higher up. So that's probably what it is. And also the Tibetan Plateau is very ragged and jagged, so you have a lot of thermals. It is windy, it is cold, you have rising columns of hot air, and all that contributes to quite a lot of turbulence flying over the Tibetan Plateau. It is, and the deserts in the western China. So it's not a fun experience, yeah. Interesting fact, a couple of years ago I was on an Air China flight and it was turbulent. I was going from Beijing to my hometown. It was fucking shaking, like drinks were being spilled that weren't even half full. And this guy stood up and he demanded that the captain explain himself from his terrible drunken driving, is what he said. And the flight attendant had to like tell him that it's no big deal. And I kind of got upset, and I told the guy, dude, you're an idiot, okay? There's the plane's flying itself, the captain's not even doing anything. The turbulence is from the air outside. So shut up and sit down. I'm trying to watch my movie. It was a long day that day, and I was not happy with the guy yelling. Where is my hometown? So my hometown is a small town called Shiyan in Hubei province, about a 5-hour train ride outside of Wuhan. And yeah, it's like the province where coronavirus originated. 500,000 people, but still considered a small town in China. Yeah, we got like 4 or 5 Starbucks, a couple of malls, an IMAX theater, and that's about it. And an airport. The airport's really nice. It's brand new. It's got 5 gates. Okay, so we're in that gulf between Qatar and the Saudi mainland, whose name I don't remember. It is just part of the Persian/Arab Gulf. If we look over to the north, we can probably make out Bahrain. Okay, can't see it. That's fine. And if we follow the coast up north, we'll find Dammam. But you know what? It's already been a long enough flight. Let's just head straight to Riyadh. I can skip ahead a little bit, but I plan for this to be a 2-hour stream. We'll go over a little bit. But in the meantime, let's go back inside the cockpit. Put us back on track. And we will get ourselves into Riyadh at an expeditious pace. And do a landing. Let's actually go higher so we can go a little bit faster.
Bahrain Center, Saudi 5901. Request flight level 260.
Check out the pissed up expats in Bahrain. So Bahrain is kind of like a discount Dubai if you're on a bender. It's closer. It's smaller. But it still has facilities for you to get absolutely wasted in without the extra fluff. So there you go. 260, flight level 260. Let's do that. Oh, no. All right. Manage your climb by itself. We can do it, man. You know what? It's doing a good job. Flight diverted. Yeah, we'll visit Khobar and Dammam later. We'll do another stream. Is this guy just hand flying? Is he following me manually? That is rough. But props to you. We're outside of Qatari airspace now. You can leave us alone. Not to be a prick, but Europe, North America, Middle East are all hubs towards one destination. South Africa isn't a hub for anything. You can go to a couple islands through South Africa, but I get what you mean. Although I would argue that South Africa is a destination on its own. I don't really remember it much. Half a million is like 10% of your country's population. NGX production. So you're saying your country has like, excuse me, 5 million people. So what country are you in? What countries have 5 million people? Sweden? No, Sweden has like 8-ish, 9-ish. Denmark? Ireland? Those are the only two I can think of. The pilot can avoid turbulence in order. Yeah, that's usually what happens. You'd ask to go higher or lower to go around an area of bumps that shows up on the radar or has been reported in from other planes or meteorological data. But really, if ATC limits you to a narrow corridor and a certain bracket of airspace, you really don't have any choices but to fly through the chops. Oh, you're from Norway. Okay, fair enough. What was my favorite flight? I don't know, man. I thought New Zealand had more than 5 million people. That was like 7, 8-ish. How do you get to Billy Bishop by car? Oh, you mean because it's on an island? Well, you drive to the pier, and now there's a tunnel, so you can go through an elevator, go through a bunch of travelators underground, and get to the island. Will we ever get an Air China review? Absolutely, when I can fly Air China again. I really want to try out the 747 and the A350. I have some Phoenix miles from my uncle, who I can steal some of his miles and book some flights, because they do get pricey. But oh man, I'm looking forward to eating on Air China. The food is really good. Have I ever visited Doha? If so, what's your opinion of the place? Huh. That's an interesting question. It's really clean. It's really nice. People are nice. People are a little bit more sophisticated than some other parts of the Arab world. Not sophisticated, but maybe particular. And not so westernized as in the UAE. I'd say Doha would be a nice place to live. I would live there. It's kind of like Abu Dhabi, not too ostentatious, not too camp. Just a good place to live. It's kind of boring though. There's not a whole lot of places you can drive to. Abdullah asks where I am from. So I'm Chinese Canadian, but I grew up in Saudi Arabia. Qataris are pretentious. Some of them are. I guess the more high-class Qataris are a little pretentious. I'll agree with you on that. But for the most part, they're still peninsular, so they're very hospitable. They're very friendly. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel very comfortable hanging out or just like meeting Arabs. There's not a whole lot of passive aggressiveness. People are very straight. People are very nice to you. And if you're nice back to them, they treat you like their family. So yeah, and lifelong friends. Will I come to China and do reports? Yeah, I was going to come to China in October, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I have a couple of flight reviews I shot last year. They weren't very good, so I never really ended up editing them, or at least the footage wasn't. I was going to do Air China Domestic, China Southern, China Eastern, Shanghai Airlines, Xiamen Airlines, Sichuan Airlines, Chunqiu Airlines, and a sprinkling of others. But what I really want to do All of my Arabic is terrible. My Arabic is khara, so I will not attempt to speak it anymore. I want to take lessons because I used to be able to do it pretty well when I was a kid, but I've just a lot of it. What I really want to do is the train from Beijing up to Lhasa in China. It's the highest elevation railroad in the world, and the train cabins are pressurized because of the elevation. And the scenery is beautiful. It's one of the things I want to do. Also want to do the Rocky Mountaineer, which is kind of a similar experience, but it is on older tracks and not as wild. What's the most expensive flight you've paid for, not flown on for cheap? I don't know. There were Cathay Pacific first class, but that came from the charity of a family member, so I didn't really pay for that. I guess in recent memory, my girlfriend and I flew from Toronto to my hometown in China with British Airways, Finnair, and a smattering of Air China flights. That wasn't cheap. That was a couple $1,000 we paid last minute, full price for business class tickets. What videos are on the way? I am almost done editing the Dreamliner from WestJet video. So I'm going to do that, and that's going to come out in the next couple of days. And then I have another video comparing... Another video comparing WestJet and Air Canada's business class service right now. It's kind of filler. And then a Lufthansa video and Swiss video, which I will shoot next month on my way over and back from the UK. What do I think of the United Star Wars 737-800 livery? Would you like to see something like that? So here in Canada, we have WestJet that has Disney liveries. I'm sure you can Google that and pull up an image. I'm not going to try to switch the stream over because it might crash the game. But they have 737-800s painted in like a tapestry of Frozen characters or Mickey Mouse and his friends. So here in North America, those planes aren't as uncommon as you think. I think A&A did a much better job painting their planes to be like droids than the United and WestJet ones. What are my specs on the PC? So I have an i7-4770K from almost 10 years ago, a 2080 Ti that in some instances is bottlenecked by the processor, but not in this, despite what some people said. And a smattering of Corsair RAM, and that's it. Yeah, I don't think the rest really matters. Best way to use airplane points in North America and Asia? I recommend redeeming flights on ANA and EVA Air in Asia. Those are nice airlines. Oh, I didn't actually set that up to climb. Okay, here we go. We should be climbing now. It says we're climbing, right? Okay, push that up. Can we climb? There we go. I don't understand how the auto throttle works in this plane, or any Airbus plane for that matter. Because, like, I guess in real life it moves itself, but I don't understand the game's interpretation of what it does. Because my throttle system does not move itself. It's not motorized. It's not that fancy. Did I forget to enable TCAS? Oh. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Do I interested in Singapore Air? Yes, I was booked on Singapore Airlines on the flight from New York to Singapore. It's not happening anymore, so we'll see what happens next year. I'll find another booking. I was actually really excited because I was going to do one of those Aeroplan around the world things because I've never done that before, and I have quite a amount of Aeroplan miles stacked up, ready to go. So I need to find a way to do that. The thrust levers don't move in real life? Oh, cool. Thanks for telling me that. What are my thoughts on the new Aeroplan? It's fine. It works better for me because I fly Air Canada quite often. My favorite part of it is the rollover miles. So if I reach 100,000 or 100k Super Elite, the extra miles I fly won't go to waste. Okay, we'll see you later, Olaf. Thank you for tuning in. Dun, 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 dun. Mustafa Salah asks, oh my god, shut up. Is China a good place to live? Some parts of it. I'd equate it to, well, I don't know. I'd equate it to the US in a certain way. Obviously, if you are rich and you live in a big city like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, you are going to have a fantastic life. But if you're just like middle income, it's fine. It's a place to live. It's not as bad as the press here in the Western world say it is. It's a different way of life, but the quality of life, at least these days, I would say is similar to, if not the same as the ones you get in Europe and North America. I definitely know a lot of people in China who make a lot of money, who are very comfortable living there, have no really any thoughts about moving anywhere else. The major headache or factor for people immigrating out of China, I think, is for their kids' education, because it is incredibly competitive in China, as it is for a lot of parts of Asia. And that's a big reason why a lot of people immigrate to countries such as Canada, where, you know, you just don't struggle as hard going through school, where you don't have to struggle as hard to get the same quality of life and pay. But if you're a foreigner and you move to China, it is definitely it's a process to acclimate to the way of life there. But it is very fun. I'd say that a lot of people in China don't really have some of the issues that we have here in the Western world. Social anxiety, depression. It still exists, obviously, in a clinical sense, but less people are affected by it because things are just exciting. Life is exciting. Life is a little bit more engaging in China. You've got more friends. You've got things to do. You're never bored in China is the one takeaway I have from people living there. What's up, Brady from Texas? Would I ever fly Aer Lingus? It's an Irish airline. I have flown Aer Lingus before, between London and Dublin. I've not flown the bigger planes. I would want to fly the A330 across the Atlantic, but it's kind of on my list of Star Alliance flights to take across the Atlantic. You can tell that I'm trying to find more exotic airlines to fly over the pond these days instead of just taking Air Canada flights. But yeah, Aer Lingus. Why didn't I join U Waterloo instead of you? U Waterloo did not accept me. That is very simple, Anif. Ahmed, yeah, I'll let people know if I have time in Dubai. I'm more than happy to hang out. And if you're watching this and you're in Ottawa and I didn't come say hi, despite the fact that many of you DM'd me, I'm sorry I didn't have that much time in Ottawa. Can I fly 9 Air? Is that a Chinese budget airline? I don't know, but maybe. What's up, Sting from Dublin? Have I ever flown on Iceland Air? No. Oh, Aer Lingus is a... what's the word? What's that company that owns British Airways and Iberia and all that? Global Airline Alliance? No, Global... That one thing that owns them all. I didn't know Aer Lingus was that. Why isn't it not in One World? Alright, see you later, PW. Can I fly SpiceJet? Yeah, maybe I'll do a tour around India. Let's go outside. and we will see the circle irrigation farms scattered throughout Saudi Arabia. If you're wondering why they're circular, it's because they have a central rotating watering boom. So think of it as kind of like a big pipe that's suspended in the air and it goes around in a circle and makes irrigating the farms very easy. And of course, this is Saudi Arabia, one of the driest countries in the world. So you do need to pump water in from other places, underground, for example, to water your plants. And all of this is in a bid ever since 15 years ago of the then king to make the country a little bit more self-sufficient when it comes to produce, vegetables, cattle, milk, meats. You get the point. It is not the greenest it's not the greenest form of farming because you either have to desalinate a lot of water and pump it inland, or dredge up a lot of underground water, which there is a limited supply of and is depleting at a rate that is not very comfortable to think of. But it is what it is, and because of that, it's interesting to fly over Saudi Arabia because these circles are much smaller in North America with the size of the farms than they are here in Saudi. Some of these farms can go 2 kilometers wide or in radius, and it's interesting to see it from the air. I don't show up on your TCAS? Well, yeah, I'm flying stealth, dude. IAG, there you go. Thank you. That's what it is. Thoughts on Air France? I want to fly KLM's 787-10. Those are my thoughts on Air France. Will you and Josh do another live stream together? Yes. So if you guys don't know, Mr. Josh Cahill has been in the news again lately, or rather today, because he spilled some tea on Tunisian Air. Don't know how to pronounce that airline. And I agree with him. That airline can use some help, but he's getting a lot of hate for it. If you don't know what's going on, go watch his video. Sam Lee, if you buy a ticket for me on the Singapore Airlines A380 first class suite, I will happily make a video. But unless I can find a way in without having to pay $25,000, we're going to have to wait on that. Do you know how you can carry 3 million renminbi across the Chinese border to India? Yeah, just sign up for a WeChat account, put all that money in WeChat. There's no way the government knows what you're doing with that money at all if you put it in WeChat. I choose KLM over Air France. Air France is nice. I flew there La Première once. That was nice. But Air France economy and business class is it looks kind of meh, and from what I've been told, it is kind of meh. Has Emirates or Etihad or any of the Indian airlines? I think an Air India livery is in the game. Emirates is definitely in the game, but here's the thing: Emirates doesn't fly any of the planes that are currently in the game, so even though there is an Emirates A320 livery, it doesn't really make sense. Thoughts on Starlux? Oh, I really wanted to try Starlux. That looked like such a bougie small airline. But maybe I will again next year. You're leaving and rejoining the stream, so I keep getting it. Yeah, okay. Obama's last name, don't do that. I don't want your money. I don't know if this video is monetized even, so don't worry about it. Thoughts on fellow YouTubers complaining about the lack of service food? Okay, so they're complaining about it without due course. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's kind of annoying. But I don't think that's the case. From what I've seen, most people who are talking about the lack of service, they are in the right, because some airlines, let's say Swiss Air, has pretty much brought back their entire business class cabin service in its entirety from before COVID times, whereas Air Canada still gives you a lunchbox. So not all of those complaints are unfounded. I'd say the majority of them are fair. So Sam Lee, I'm guessing you have Singapore airline miles? Oh, I don't remember what it's called. And I'll look into it. Okay, so Sam, if you want to help me out with that, I don't want your miles, but if you can give me some guidance on how to redeem miles, I do have Amex. Oh God, what are the Amex points called? I have an American Express card. I can also transfer from like Shangri-La. So if you give me some guidance, DM me on Instagram, and I'd appreciate it if you told me how to go through that process of booking a Singapore Airlines flight using their miles. Reiji, I will fly United again, but it might be on an ERJ or CRJ 550, so it might not be fun. I am booked on their Dreamliner -10 from Newark to Frankfurt, although I don't think I'm going to go through it because I would have to self-quarantine once I get to Europe because I went through the US. You can't transit through a US passport. You have to enter the United States in a legal sense in order to transit through it because America, we don't let you go through our country without visiting it. Nicholas Kimball asks, do I have any thoughts on Porter Airlines? And thank you for the sentiments. I don't know when I think the game will come out for Xbox. So yeah, I'll fly Porter Airlines if I desperately have to, but I can't really earn any points with Porter, and work will happily pay for Air Canada. So if I'm really desperate, I'm just like scraping the bottom of the barrel for content, I'll fly Porter. But otherwise, not really. My Instagram is just my name, so it's at Tizen, and I will say my stories get kind of crazy and interesting sometimes, and most of the time I like post my trips to my stories, so you'll see them months before I post them on YouTube. Okay, we'll see you later, airplane driver. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, I'll endeavor to stream at least once a month to catch up on all the news and stuff. I need more coffee. I can't speak anymore. Chairman Mao asks, what airline are you flying right now? This is Saudia, or Saudi Arabian Airlines. We're going from Dubai to Riyadh. We're currently somewhere over the eastern part of Saudi Arabia. And let me tell you, this part of the country is freaking beautiful. If you're going to drive between the east coast of Saudi and Riyadh, don't take the main highway. Take one of the smaller roads. It's usually empty. It's fun to drive. You might see some camels crossing the road, which is nice. But most importantly, you have these red sand dunes that are just absolutely gorgeous. I don't think enough people see this part of the world. It's well represented in the game, but trust me, it looks beautiful in real life. Oh, awesome. Obama's last name. How do I get liveries on Flight Simulator 2020? Bueller asks, you go on GitHub or you Google GitHub Flight Simulator 2020 liveries, and you can download them. Donup, thank you. I will. I was raised in the UK system of education, and grew up watching a lot of British TV. So I guess that's where it comes from. Most of my childhood friends also had a wit amongst them because of their parents. So that's just where it comes from, I guess. So Nicholas Pratt, the A220 has some amazing short field takeoff and landing capabilities. If they can land at London City, they can absolutely land at Billy Bishop, which everyone knows to be true. The thing with Billy Bishop is everyone who lives next to it, of which there are many people, don't want jet engines near their houses, and I can completely understand that. Because unlike London City, the approach into Billy Bishop has the plane flying over 500,000 people who are sleeping or doing other things on the waterfront and don't want their days ruined by a jet engine. And yeah, it is what it is, and I kind of agree with the fact that they don't allow jet engines at Billy Bishop, only turboprops. Ragey, I will review Saudi once I fly it. I had a flight booked with them, a couple flights booked with them on their Dreamliner and A320, the one with the lie flat seats for the latter, from Athens all the way over to Manila, but unfortunately those have been cancelled, so I rescheduled them from January. Definitely more stuff coming next year. I have a bunch of flights and credits that I intend to use. I'm also going to go on a trip at some point just to fly around the world instead of having to go for work and make a bunch more content, because I'm getting quite good at it. Not in the sense of my production value, I think that has just stagnated, but with the fact that I'm very comfortable walking through an airport talking to myself on my camera like I give no fucks, because honestly I don't. Aren't I too slow for cruising speed? Yeah, you're right. I am too slow for cruising speed. Let's change this over. Maybe I just want to prolong the stream. No name. GitHub. Google Flight Simulator 2020 liveries and you'll find them. It is a palava to install them, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. Let's go to a different view. Yeah. Dun dun. In the words of Jeremy Clarkson, speed and power. I'm more of Richard Hammond, not in the sense that I'm small, which I'm not, but in the sense that I'm probably going to crash at some point in spectacular fashion. Have I tried golf here? Yes. So Obama's last name, it gets easier if you just do it. If you just keep doing it. Like, obviously at first I was a little intimidated by people looking at me and I didn't want to whip my camera out. But after a while, it's definitely easier. Especially if you have a little bit of traction going, you can just tell people, hey, I have a YouTube channel. It's got a mild following, so people kind of understand then. And then they ask questions and it's cool. You still do get weird looks, especially from teenagers. I was in Ottawa the other day, or a month ago, and I was recording a bit, as you might have seen in my video. I was just like walking through a very populated pedestrian part of town, and there were like a young couple, teenagers on scooters, and they were like making fun of me. It's like, oh, this guy's trying to be a YouTuber. And then immediately someone came up to me and was like, hey, you're that guy who makes the airplane reviews. I love your videos. And so that told them to shut up. That was fun. Not always. Doesn't always happen like that, though. Thoughts on Xiamen Airlines? Xiamen Airlines are awesome. I have a cousin who works for Xiamen Airlines as a flight attendant, so I can't say anything bad about them. I'm running pretty low on fuel. I've got tons of range, dude. These A320 Neo tanks hold. Where's my camera control? Where are my camera controls? Oh, I might have just lost my camera menu here, guys. Uh-oh. Okay. This ain't good. Oh. But what was I saying? Yeah, I've got tons of fuel. This is an A320 Neo. This is bad. This is bad. I need to get my camera back. We're gonna do something ambitious here. First of all, we're gonna save the game. And then we're gonna go to... Have I ever been on Austrian Airlines? No, I have not. We'll fly them though, because they are Star Alliance. Oh boy. Give me a second. Okay, camera controls are back. The VFR map is still nowhere to be found. I'm gonna bring this back as well. There we go. And then I just put this back into windowed mode and we are good. Ah, there we go. We even have our VFR map, and we're getting pretty close to Riyadh. Would you look at that? That's nice. What was I doing in here? Oh, we're looking at fuel. We got tons of fuel, dude. We're good to go.
Saudi 59er 1 descend and maintain 16,000 feet. Descend and maintain 16,000
All right, we're starting our descent. Will I fly an African airline anytime soon? If that's going to be the case, it's probably only going to be Ethiopian. Mohammed, you want to keep a steady altitude and can't figure out how to do it? I'm not the person to ask for help. Make sure you have enough throttle. If you're using autopilot, make sure you have it engaged to holding the altitude. All right, so that ends the chatting around segment. I feel like that was a little too long. But anyways, we're getting pretty close to our destination, so I'm gonna set us up for an approach. I don't know which runway they want us to land at, or that we are landing at.
Saudi 59er 1 contact Jeddah center on 125.35.
No, I don't want to do that.
125.35 for Saudi 59er. Jeddah center Saudi 59er 1 is at flight level 230 descending 16,000 feet.
ILS 33 right. Okay, so okay, I need to look up what the localizer frequency is for this. And thankfully, I can just refer to the real life guide published by a bunch of Dutch people, or German, I don't know, that have all the localizer numbers. I think they're pretty uniform, but I just want to make sure. So ILS Cat 1 approach on runway 33 right. That's what we're doing, right? Yes, that is. 110.10. So where do we punch that in? I will find it. Rest assured. Oh, it's already been punched in. Look at that. Okay, we're good to go. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let me just make sure that everything is set up correctly. I have this written down because I did a little bit of preparation. Oh. Either we have a new friend or this guy switched to a Neo. Okay, so we are coming up over the islands. Sorry, not islands. The mountains here. Wow. Who is this DJ Nutcracker guy? Look at you. User has been put in a timeout. Oh my god, look at this guy. How do I get the meteorological stuff to show up on the screen? So I can't believe I actually know this. You come down over here on the Airbus, and then this is your radar setup. You don't have to touch a whole lot of it. You just have to switch it on. Usually it's in the off position. Switch it to radar system 1 or 2. You have 2. Doesn't really matter, but you go with 1 first, and you can set up 2 for doing something else. And then come to this mode switch and turn it to either weather plus terrain or weather. So I have it on weather plus terrain, and then it just shows up over here. So let's say I turn that off. Okay, I guess it's residually on there. Okay, let's turn off the radar system, and it goes away. But if I turn on the radar system, it's back. Okay, what altitude did he tell us to go down to? 11,000 feet. Okay, so we're gonna do a weird approach over the city. There's not a whole lot to see out the window in Riyadh. They didn't do a great job putting the buildings in. In fact, most of the skyscrapers don't even exist. So I can't say that I'm surprised, but I'm not. I'm a little disappointed. Okay, let's reduce our speed. And maybe we can make out the city off in the distance. I think that's it over there. Let's go outside. Beautiful. Please butter the landing. I'm not gonna butter the landings. These landings are gonna be rough. Am I Muslim? No. I drink too much for that. Plus I eat too much pork for that. Yeah, I'll respond to your message, Ahmed. Where's Mecca? It's yeah, that's north. Mecca's over there somewhere in the background. Why, are you gonna pray for me? That's why you need to know the position of the Kaaba.
125.6 for Saudia 5901. Riyadh approach Saudia 5901 is at 13,400 feet, descending 11,000 feet. Saudia 5901 Riyadh approach, continue to all south as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
Lubs, I still have a ways to go, so I don't need to think about doing anything just yet. We're gonna have to make some crazy turns here for this approach. We could expedite our descent if we just brought our speed back a little bit. Oh, we brought our speed up a little bit. Well, I'm bad at math. I'm bad at physics. Oh no, that's unmanaged. Lol. Okay. It's kind of dark. Where's the knob that brightens the...
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway tree right approach via resub transition. Saudi 5901.
Oh, I remember I found it somewhere. That's the eCams displays. Maybe it's over here? No, these are for the multifunction displays. Where are they? Whatever. Am I gonna crash land? I am gonna crash land. We're not doing any landings just yet, guys. We're still quite far away from the airport. And we're gonna do a bunch of turns. Like we're gonna turn in and turn back out. So don't worry, we're not landing just yet. Near the stick. No, that's the trim and an autopilot disconnect. I don't see any lighting options near the stick. I'll figure that out eventually. Lighting is on top. Oh, maybe you're right. Okay, let's see. No, that's for the overhead. No, that doesn't work. You know what? I can see. It's fine. We'll be alright. Let's go back out. Let's bring up our VOR map. So what we're doing is we're gonna go in on this resub approach, come over here and go into 33 right. So it's still a while before we have to do any landing preparations, and I don't want to put the flaps down too early because this is gonna prolong the process. We'll be alright. Turbulence. I can definitely simulate that. I can definitely simulate turbulence. You want to see some of that? Alright, let's do some of that. We are at 10,000 feet. Let's add a wind layer at 10,000 feet. So there's some turbulence for you. Can make it 90 knots of air. And then that's kind of rough. Alright, delete that layer of turbulence. And let's check out the city, which we're just coming onto now. Oh, that is pretty. I wish they had more topography in this, because this is a very pretty part of the country, just east and south out of Riyadh. There's a lot of canyons. There are a couple rivers actually, which don't always have water, but in the winter after it rains, they form these little wadis or lakes, temporary. And it's really beautiful because it blooms with flowers that only come out once a year. And then you have a cliff face over there. It's called the Edge of the World. It's beautiful. Definitely worth a visit. Definitely worth a trip outside of Riyadh. Pretty cheap to get an SUV, a Land Cruiser. You can borrow it from people on the street even. Just tell them, hey, I'm a tourist here. Can you drive me out of town and show me your country? People would absolutely do that. So, if you're gonna visit Riyadh, go out of the city. What's up, Bump? I'm good. We're just about to land in Riyadh. We flew over Qatar on our way over from Dubai. So it's been 2 hours. It's not a direct flight, or the routing hasn't been very direct, but we're here. Oh, I see one skyscraper down there. What is that? I can't actually tell what that is. So that's the airport over there. That's the Princess Noor University. So this is King Fahad Highway and Alea Street. Yeah, it's I'm kind of disappointed with the lack of buildings. There's supposed to be a financial city over here full of skyscrapers. There's the old airport, which is turned into an airbase now. And this strip, much like Dubai Strip, is very built up these days. You've got the Faisalia Tower, you've got the Kingdom Tower, or Mamlaka Tower, all of which are not present here. It just looks like a shithole. I am disappointed, Microsoft. You are underrepresenting my culture and heritage. This is racism. ATC would like me to descend. Oh yeah, they would. Alright, let's go down for a closer look. And we do have to start thinking about our thing now. Our approach, I mean. Okay, let's do an expeditious descent. And then we will turn the localizer on. Landing systems on. They found the localizer. And we just turn on the approach mode when we are lined up and the diamonds align. And for the most part, we should be alright. Let's go back out for a little bit. There's the airbase. There's Bata, or the old part of town. It's kind of like Little Manila, or like the Filipino part of town. You got a couple universities and a hospital over there. Am I an Aramco brat? No, I'm a King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Center brat. There's the Kingdom compound down here. Sabic is over here, the natural gas joint venture between a British company and the Saudi company, as these things go. And there's King Khalid International Airport. We're landing on 33 right. Let's go back inside and wait for the stars to align. This is when we start having to put down our flaps, which I just did off screen. Let's turn our landing lights on. Oh boy. I'm gonna turn on the taxi for now. Alright, I'm gonna bring our spoilers down. We're going for maximum braking because I don't know how. I'm not confident in my landing. Why are we overspeeding? We're a little high. We're gonna go down lower. Chris, if you Google Flight Simulator 2020, you will find a GitHub page with a bunch of liveries, and you can get this one. Okay, come on, go down, go down, go down. I want you to go to 1,000 feet, and then we will intercept the glide path there. Okay, so we might be a little too high here. Spoilers are still down. I don't think it's actually aligning us to the runway either. This is one of the ILS approaches that is kind of screwed right now. Alright, flaps down, geared down. Let's go down lower. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's finally doing its thing. Alright, approach mode on. Oh, going too fast. Oh god, yeah, it doesn't want to do that. Approach mode doesn't necessarily work in this airplane. Okay. Oh, I was setting speed to 270. You're right. You're right. You know what? Let's just disengage everything. We'll follow the glide path down. We're a little high. A little low, I mean. But we should be alright. Make sure everything is down. Yeah. Oh, our spoilers are still down. Haha. I fat finger that. Oh, okay. I think we might have to go around for this. Oh, no, no. What just happened? What the fuck just happened? Oh, why did it jolt down? Why did it jolt down? No, 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 no. Oh, okay. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, we're going to go to Toga Power. We're doing this again. Holy crap. Does anyone know why it veers terribly to the left just before you're about to touch down? Yeah, burning fuel, yeah, you're right. I forgot to reduce speed. I was too busy sightseeing. Alright, you know what? We'll just line us up. It's a nice day. We will VOR our way down. Oh, you might be right. There might be it's 4 knots. It's not too bad. But let's delete that layer anyways. I don't need to handicap myself. I did have it, and then the stick inputs weren't registering, and it was banking hard to the left for some reason. That was mildly upsetting. How do you reverse thrust? It depends on what system you have. I have a little clicker that lets me reverse it. You might have to just use your keyboard. Oh yeah, no, fuck that. We're just doing this. We're not going all the way around. We're not doing that pattern. Oh, this is bumpy. It seems to not register some of the stick inputs. Although that might just be me. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, where's the airport? Going a little fast here. Going a little high here. Where the hell is the airport? Okay, let's go through this cloud and maybe we'll see it. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that was terribly misjudged. But you know what? I'm impatient. Let's do this. We're probably too high for the right runway. We'll go for the left one. Yes, I know my spoilers are down. We'll be all right. Ugh. You know what? I don't think we're gonna make this. I'm gonna make a left turn and come back in for the right one. Test a reverse thrust in one engine. I'm doing the go. Try landing on the highways. Are you kidding me? With the crazy Saudi drivers, we're definitely gonna die. This thing is very sprightly. It doesn't seem to want to slow down whatsoever. No, we're not doing that. We're not expediting our climb. That's too much bank angle too. Might have just ripped the wing off. Parking brake. Oh. Well, glad we had that armed. Alright. Spoilers up and armed. Reverse thrust ready to go. Gear down. Tiny little adjustments on the stick. Just above idle. Auto throttle is still on. That thing doesn't come off, does it? No. It always has to have a hand in it. My gear is down. We're good. Don't worry. Coming a little high. But we're also a little slow, so that's good. Oh yeah, it doesn't like the inputs. Oh, why are you turning to the right? Oh, why are you banking to the right? What are you doing, plane? What are you doing, plane? What the hell? Oh, why does it do that? Why the hell does it do that? Why is my parking brake on? Alright, let's clean this up. Oh my god, that was weird. That was really weird. Runway turn-off light doesn't come on. Oh, okay, well. It's throwing that bug where I can't press anything. That's cool. We're also way over the speed limit, but welcome to Saudi Arabia, where nobody really cares about the speed limit, despite the fact that it's like 160 kilometers an hour. People go 200 anyways. Yeah, welcome to Riyadh. Although I don't think we're going the right way. This is the private aviation terminal where you need to cross the runway again. Wait, which runway did I land on? Did I land on the left or on the right one? Oh, you know what? We are going the right way. Well, this is Saudi, so we have to go to Terminal 1. Terminal Wahed. So we will, we'll go over there. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. If you're coming back home, welcome home. Please make sure that you take ample medication for your hangover. If you have your customs forms, please have them ready to show the customs officer, who will skim over it and not pay attention to any illicit goods that you may list on it. But once again, appreciate that you have a choice of flying Saudi or any of the better Middle Eastern airlines because they provide alcohol. Badin, welcome to Riyadh. Thank you again for flying with us. Hope to see you soon on another alcohol-filled escapade. It's okay. This is very common. This is Saudi tailgating. He should be honestly a lot closer than that in our wash. What the hell is this? This is not what Riyadh's terminal looks like. Yeah, we need to cross over to the other side. So, we're gonna have to find a taxiway here that does that. Let's go over there. Actually, yeah, because Terminal 1 is on the northern side. So we might as well go over there. Are we on schedule here? I don't know. Oh yeah, we're definitely not on schedule. We're like an hour late. Okay, and the taxiways don't make sense because there is an apron and a taxiway that goes beyond this, where you can cross over to the other side of the airport. So this is wildly inaccurate. I was coming in too fast with full flaps, hence ground effect. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, you're right. I should disable the rudder pedals because the rudder pedals is my yoke, and I don't have the dead zone set for it. So inevitably, when I'm like putting in inputs, we're going off road here. This is usually where there's supposed to be a taxiway here. Oof. Anyone else see that picture of the Saudi 747 in the ditch? That's what we're replicating here. Dun dun dun. Yeah, some of the airports do look inaccurate. Montreal has a skyscraper for a terminal building right now. The building is literally 28 stories high. Okay. This is a clean piece of concrete, of tarmac. I don't know if it's tarmac or not. Might just be concrete. So there is a bridge over the highway in real life for where we are now, but it looks like in the sim they just have cars transiting the taxiway at their leisure. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like driving through a Saudi roundabout. You kind of just gun it and hope for the best. Oh my god. Oh, he went between our sets of gears. Oh, mashallah, that guy was brave. All right. Okay, let's do that. And here we are at Terminal 1. We're just going to ask them to assign us a gate.
Ground Saudia 59er, 1 request taxi to the gate. Saudia 59er, 1 taxi to gate 59er via taxiway, Mike.
Okay, I guess we're going to Terminal 2. That's cool. Saudi does not operate out of this terminal. But you know what? We'll be alright. Let's look at the scenery. There's an A320neo over there. That's another one. That kind of looks like a 737. No, that's a neo. Normal taxiways, speed limits in airports is 30 knots. Nah, this is Saudi Arabia. We go 100. Doesn't matter. We drift. Fuel is cheap. Rubber is cheap. Are taxi lights on? No. Do I care? Absolutely not. All right. There's a tug there. Oh, there's also a guy. Or a girl. Can't tell. Okay, all right, here we go. Uh, okay, you want me to drive into the tug? Save. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, a little bit more. A little bit more. Just get cozy in here, and we're good. All right. Why is she still holding up her hand? You know what? I'm gonna set the parking brakes. We're gonna ask for the jetway. And that is my job done here. Oh god. Oh, that was stressful. But that was fun. I had fun. Do you guys have fun? That was fun. Probably very cringeworthy for those of you who actually know how to fly sims or are real pilots. But I had a good time there. Okay, so everything is done. I think we just turn off some of our lights. Oh, that's right, I can't because it's throwing that bug where my mouse doesn't work. Well, at least it did it after we landed. So there's that. And that's the door alarm. Can't do anything about that. Can I turn off the engines? No, I can't turn off the engines. You know what, just come outside. I don't think this jetway quite reaches our door. Oh my god. Well, I guess the passengers are jumping then. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, well, with that, I leave you guys. I'm going to go take a nap now, amongst other things. I hope you guys had a good time. Sorry for the last little bit if I didn't answer your questions. I was trying not to die. And thank you to the guy who was in the Cessna citation who followed us all the way from Qatar. Awfully nice of you. Don't know what the point was. Oh, hey, you can see the interior of the plane. That's actually quite well modeled. Let's see if we can go... Yeah, oh, no, that's not how you... Nope. No, oh. These drone controls are weird. Oh, wow, look at that. You can actually see in there. Look at that. Well, with this really terrible camera angle, I leave you guys. We'll see you later. I'll probably do this again next week. Have a good one. And safe travels.